Oh boy, so much to talk about on this record. An obscure Lost 45 too, so let's jump right into it. Michael Jackson at number 20 on my fancy playlist, June 4th, 1984. Farewell, My Summer Love from the album of the same name. It was the album was released in 1984. It was feeding off the fumes of Michael Jackson's enormous success with the Thriller album, and it was basically a compilation of lost Motown tracks that was updated. There were some new, there were some keyboards, guitar, and percussion that was added onto this record to the original version to make it sound more updated, to make it sound more like 1984. And boy, the musicians who updated this record, who played on this record, give it a more fresher sound. People like Tony Peloso rather, who was the lead guitarist with the Carpenters. Remember that guitar fuzz on Goodbye to Love, that guitar solo, that loud that heavy metal sort of fuzz in Goodbye to Love by the Carpenters, played by Tony Peloso. And Steve Barry, who was producing records by the Grassroots and co-wrote songs like Undercover Angel by Alan O'Day. That's all another story. I don't want to get into that, but to just let you know that, oh God, I couldn't believe it. Steve Barry played on the updated version of Goodbye, My Summer Love, producing, the hit records by the Grassroots, co-wrote the song Eva Destruction. Steve Barry did with P.F. Sloan. That was back in 1965, boy. But anyway, that's the instrumental part of the song. Now I want to talk about the songwriter. I wrote this song. She came across an incredible website. Was able to get some some good trivia on this the making of this record. Goodbye, My Summer Love. Did I get the title right? I want to make sure I got the title right. No, Farewell, My Summer Love. It was Farewell, My Summer Love. Written by a guy named Kenneth St. Louis, or otherwise known as Kenny, Keni. I believe you pronounce it as Kenny. I'll just pronounce it as Kenneth St. Louis. Kenneth St. Louis, he was from the Washington area. He used to hang out at the Apollo Theater watching all the groups perform there. Wanted to be a songwriter, singer-songwriter. That was it. That was his passion in life. He moved to Los Angeles. He ran into a friend of his, Freddie Perren, Perren, or Perron. I'll just pronounce it as Perren. Perren was co-producing records by the Jackson 5 in the early 70s. Stop to Love You Safe, ABC. He was part of that songwriting team that was cranking out those early hits by the Jackson 5, Freddie Perren. Well, Freddie Perren and Kenneth St. Louis, they knew each other from Washington. And one day they ran into each other. Freddie Perren and Kenneth St. Louis, they ran into each other. And Freddie Perren asked Kenneth St. Louis, I'm looking for a young sounding love song for Michael. Something that Michael could record. Kind of a puppy love-ish song. Puppy love type of record. Or do you have anything, Kenneth? Well, Kenny St. Louis, actually he didn't. He didn't have a song for Michael. He didn't have a young puppy love sounding record. But he couldn't say no to Freddie Perron. Freddie Perron was an up and coming producer by 1973. Boy, his track record with the Jackson 5 was quite amazing. You don't say no to a guy like that. You don't say something like, no, Freddie, I'm sorry, I don't have a song. Instead, Kenneth St. Louis, he said, yeah, I got a song. I got just a song for Michael. And then he rushed home. And boy, then when he came home, he got out his pen and pad or pen and paper or whatever, and he wrote down "Farewell, My Summer Love." Wrote it down fast. Made a demo for it. Made a little demo for it. He gave the demo to Freddie Perren, and Michael Jackson. He learned. He was 14 years old at the time. He learned the demo. He learned the song from the demo, the phrasing and everything. Now, here's the thing about Michael Jackson. Now, he was about 14 years old in 1973. He can only record for so many hours before his tutor would come in and take him away and say he's got to go back to school. He's got to do his schooling. Record the song in about 4 hours. Michael Jackson, he was a professional. Even at 14, he was a professional. He was singing it phrase by phrase as perfectly as he could. He wanted to sing it perfectly, almost like a machine. And Kenneth St. Louis, he was in the studio. when Michael was recording. And Kenneth St. Louis said, look, you got to chill, Michael. Just sing it the way you're going to sing it. Don't worry about sounding, don't worry about messing up. Don't worry about making mistakes. You're not going to make a mistake singing. Just be yourself, Michael. That's all you need to do, man. Just be yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be like a machine. Get into it, man. Put your soul into it. Soul and inspiration. And Michael nailed it. When it was re-released in 1984, now the date, I don't know if I mentioned the date that this song was recorded. I came across the date of August 31st, 1973 when this song was recorded. And it was just probably shelved away until rediscovered in 1984 and then updated with the new percussion and drums and guitar that I've already mentioned. The song did not do that well here in the States, though. Number 38 here in the States. But boy, Farewell My Summer Love, it soared to number 7 in the UK. Did very well in the UK. But no matter, let me tell you, Michael, anything that had the name Jackson in 1984 was going to be a smash. Remember the Victory Tour by the Jacksons? Torture. Does anybody remember Torture by the Jacksons? That went to number 17 on Billboard's Hot 100. And Jermaine Jackson, remember Dynamite, summer of 84? And then there was another song he did. I wrote it down. I forgot the name of it. Oh gosh, I forgot the name of it. I'm sorry, but he came out with another one. I could hear the melody in my head. He came out with another one. 2 top 20 hits in 1984. Jermaine Jackson. Michael Jackson, he launched in 1984 with the last big hit off of Thriller, which was the title cut. And then he did Say, Say, Say with Paul McCartney. That went to number 1. And then, remember State of Shock with Mick Jagger. That was in 1984 too. Boy, what a percussion. Well, he did that. That was a hit in 1984. Reby Jackson, remember a song by Reby Jackson, Centipede, written and produced by Michael. That went to number 24 on Billboard's Hot 100 back in the fall of 1984. Yes, being a Jackson, you could do no wrong in 1984. Well, we got that re-release of that 1973 cut by Michael Jackson, Farewell My Summer Love, at number 20 on my fancy playlist, June the 4th, 1984.